over 260 people registered to be here today, and many, many more around the world. So we want to welcome all of you. Thank you for participating in International Being You Day. Give yourself a round of applause. So we get the pleasure of receiving Dr. Dain here for 2 hours today. How did we get so lucky? You should all have your manuals in hand. Otherwise, if you're online, you should have them in a downloadable way, if you print it or otherwise. But one thing I want to announce before we bring Dr. Dain up are 2 things. One, when the class closes, Dr. Dain has a plane to catch. So he's going to be taking off rather quickly. Okay, so I just wanted to, you guys deal with that now, okay? That we're not doing hug lines or signing books today, okay? So thank you so much for honoring him and his timing and his sweet, sweet body as well. And breaking news, Dr. Dain, for you guys today, is launching a brand new course that actually came out of the Interesting Point of View class that we had here in Mexico City in October, okay? It is regularly $97. Today only it's $67. So you'll get it for $30 off. It is amazing, okay? One thing to know about that course is because we wanted to launch it today, we did not have time to get all languages loaded, but you can still get the special price. So get in there. Somewhere on the screen here, you'll see the QR code. Scan that, and you can purchase the course, and we will notify you when your language is uploaded, but you will get in at that special rate, okay? Without further ado, I won't take up more of your time. Let's invite Dr. Dain here to the stage.
Okay, translators, please start your recordings. And for us, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
I'm afraid. Just kidding. Welcome. Let me get rid of this first. It's warm in here, it's cold out there. Welcome to the 5th International Being You Day. Yay! Woo! Aww. Look at all your bright, smiley faces. So my target today is to change. My target today is to, in our time together, create something that gives you, I don't know, the awareness that change is possible, basically. 25 years ago, I was at a place where I was going to end my life because I was suffering. I had not been happy for almost 3 years. I had a chiropractic practice. I had a perfect relationship. By the way, have any of you ever had a perfect relationship that wasn't so perfect? Yeah, anyway, let's not talk about that, PTSD. And I knew there was so much more possible, but I couldn't seem to create it. I was going to weekend workshops, I was reading books, and I finally got to a place where I was like, if this is the way it is, I don't need to be here anymore. And then I came across an ad for Access Consciousness. I had 1 session of Access Consciousness bars. Wow, I look just like the background. Oh my God, if you're at home, do you just see like a face and hands? That's awesome, that's so cool. And we're leaking. This is a great day, people. Wow. Anyway, I had 1 session of Access Consciousness bars, and I went from depressed and suicidal with a date to end my life to a sense of knowing everything I always hoped was possible actually is. 1 hour and 15 minutes. I had no idea change could occur like that. But the fact that it occurred so fast and I had an experience of it, it set me on a totally different trajectory. Because after that point, I was in. I was like, I'm ready to live, let's go. And over the last 25 years, I've been part of creating Access Consciousness and finding tools that work in the trenches of life to change the things you want to change and give you that sense that being alive is actually a gift. You know, if you look at the world we live in, there's a lot of people who don't realize it. They're struggling a lot. I don't know about you, you've probably struggled a lot too, as did I. And what's interesting is to know that it's possible not to desire that so dynamically for so many people, but now to actually have the tools to create it. Could you imagine if, let's say 12 months from now, you woke up, let's say 6 days out of 7, grateful and happy to be alive. Could you imagine if within 12 months, the fear of everything, from money to world war to what your kids are gonna grow up to be or not, and what you're gonna grow up to be or not, could you imagine if it wasn't in your world anymore? Now, for some of you, you're like, that'll never happen. And I completely understand, because I have the same point of view. But I'll tell you, what if it's actually possible now? What if what's possible now has never been possible before? So I'm gonna go over some stuff. I even have notes in front of me. Because if you've ever been in a class with me, you know that my ADHD is so intense that I will be in the middle of the most important sentence of your life and I will change tracks. It's awesome. Thank you. She said it's awesome. So there. So now, so I have notes in front of me. So we're gonna cover at least 7 things today, okay? But what if it's not so challenging to simply be happy? What if it's not so challenging to change the things in your life that don't work? What if it's not rocket science? What if we've been lied to our entire lives that it's impossible and you have to suffer? How many of you suffer to make the world a better place for other people? Yeah, you should all be raising your hands. I know, me too. I did that forever. And what I realized is my suffering never seems to make anybody else happier. It never seems to lift them up. What if you could be a space of something, a space of lightness, a space of hope, a space of joy? What if that's not cheesy? What if it's not impossible? What if that is the gift that you are when you're truly being you? So this day, Being You Day, how did this damn thing start? Well, I wrote a book called Being You, Changing the World that came out in 2011. As the 10th anniversary was coming up, we were like, maybe we should do something. And it was interesting because at that very time while we were talking about this, Earth Day was going on. And I was like, wow, here we are. We were in 2020 something, whatever. And I realized, wow, it was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And what I realized was when Earth Day started in 1970, nobody knew we had a planet. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, consume everything. Just eat the thing, you know, whatever. Yeah, it'll be here forever, of course, because that was the point of view at the time. Earth Day started trickling into people's awareness that there was something that we needed to pay attention to. Something that if we did, would allow our lives to get greater and allow us to potentially create a sustainable living Earth. But guess what? It took decades. It took decades to change the consciousness on the planet to where people living their normal everyday lives are like, okay, this is our home. We need to take care of it. And still, people don't get it, but a lot more people get it now than they ever did before. And I thought to myself, you know what? If it takes 50 years for people to actually be them, it's worth it. I will get together every year with the crazy weirdos, you guys. Give yourselves a hand. Woo! Yeah. Give yourselves a hand for being the weirdos that desire something different. That is a gift for all of us, okay? The original meaning of weird was of spirit, fate, or destiny. How many of you have been called weird? I know, me too. Man, when I was a little kid, I used to have twitches. And my nose, I used to do this all the time. Like, I would be sitting there talking, you'd be like. Plus, I was the only white kid living in the ghetto where I lived. So can you imagine little Whitey? Dude, the level of people saying, you're weird. I'm like, I know, I don't know what to do about it though. You know? Took me a long time to recognize that what had been judged as weird was actually the gift of me. Because here's another thing that's judged as weird, is your kindness, your caring for people, your joy, your willingness and desire to contribute to everybody. Even if it doesn't make your life better personally, your desire to see us all thrive. That's weird. Of spirit, fate, or destiny, that's you. Now I know some of you were drugged here by someone, hopefully not drugged and then brought here. I don't know if that translates, but in English, it's kind of funny to think about. You know, it's so good. I can imagine you having morning coffee with your mate, you know, who's planning on coming today. And you're having the coffee with them, you know, and you're drinking it. You're like, sweetie, this tastes a little funny. Oh, it's fine. Just keep drinking. And you wake up here in a chair at Being You Day. Oh, that didn't happen for anybody, right? Okay. By the way, I want to say hi to everybody online. Thank you very much for being here. It is indeed a gift. I know some of you were drugged here by somebody who wanted you to have this. The fact is you're here, so there was some reason that you're here, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Do you ever go to say a sentence and then it just stops right in the middle? Like your train of thought leaves your head without you on it? And you're like, hi. If that ever happens to you, just stop and smile. Just be like, I meant to do that. I'm being mysterious, okay? So, my invitation for you is to begin to recognize the beauty of you. That is not about the judgments our world seems to have, but is about something that you recognize yourself to be, perhaps in what you call your greatest moments. Have you ever had somebody who really needed a hug? You were having a crappy day. They really needed a hug, and you're like, come here. And you give them a hug, and your crappy day melts as you're contributing to somebody else. See, we are most us when we are contributing and when we are receiving. But we live in a world that we don't even have an idea of what receiving is. And here's the thing is, when you don't have an idea of what receiving is, you can't receive enough to fill up your batteries enough to contribute enough in the way that you would like to. So what do? You feel like the only thing you can do is separate from people. Oh my God, all these people are sucking the life out of me. But if we will start to recognize that I'll get to these, I promise, I'll get to all 7 of these things that I'm about to say. If we would recognize that us receiving and I'm going to give you some real simple tools to change some stuff, okay? But if you would recognize that you receiving and you having your batteries filled up, whatever that is for you, that is the space that allows you to actually contribute to other people. Simultaneously, though, it's a space that starts to allow you to like the person looking back at you in the mirror, okay? Now, if you got nothing else other than that invitation to actually like the person looking back at you in the mirror, today would be a success from my point of view, okay? Now, I'm going to be giving you all kinds of things. And you may notice, let me ask you a question. Do you notice being or feeling any different right now than when you got here today? Is there any more space in your head? Any more sense of, ooh, I want to go forward. I don't want to go backwards anymore. Yeah, you know what? That's the gift that you are. That's the gift that we are, especially when we get together and go, you know what? I'm not going to limit myself. Let's be greater together. How about that? And what if greater isn't what we keep thinking it is? You know, well, we'll talk about that. I can't quite go there yet. Okay, tool number 1. Tool number 1, being you is not about getting you right. Okay? Why? Because right is a judgment, just like wrong is a judgment. And when we have to try to be right, we're in a constant state of everything we're doing and being that's wrong. Access consciousness is this body of work that I've been doing for the last 25 years. And we have thousands of phenomenal facilitators around the world. We have a definition for consciousness, which is where everything exists and nothing is judged. Whoa. Just one more time. Where everything exists and nothing is judged. Could you imagine if you could sit in a room full of people and have no judgments in your head of you or of them? Could you imagine seeing somebody who is living in a world of self-judgment, but because you don't have any, it starts to lift from them? How much greater would our world get? And here's the weird part about all this stuff. In the world we live in, it can sound airy-fairy, you know, like, oh, just don't judge people, everything will work out great. Why? Because sometimes you want to kill people. Yeah, not your fault, you're not wrong. Everything that brought up. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100. Shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. That is something called a clearing statement. Please use it. You can go to theclearingstatement.com. If you want to learn it, if you want to geek out on it, we have a short video for it and a long video for it. If you're like me, you'll watch the long video about 800 times until you really understand it. Because I have, not only do I have ADHD, but I have OCD, which is a great combo, okay? Great friggin' combo. 8,000 things that want to be said all at the same time. And for every one of those 8,000, there's another 8,000 from the OCD. And it is, you know what? It is a miracle that I can speak in public. I just realized it's a miracle. It's a miracle. How many of you might recognize that you have ADHD? You're attracted to bright, shiny things all the time. What if you're not wrong? What if it's a superpower? Okay? Why? Because somebody with ADHD has the ability to hold simultaneous realities in existence all at the same time. Dude, here's the thing. Being you is not about getting you right, which means being you is about acknowledging you're not wrong. Also, they got to go together, okay? Now, this clearing statement that I mentioned at theclearingstatement.com, it's free. Use it. Change your life. Have any of you heard of quantum physics? Thank you. Okay, good. The clearing statement is basically quantum physics in motion. Because quantum physics says anything you're willing to be, you can have. What this does is any limited point of view you have, you can let go of by choosing to. Whoa, it's awesome. You'll see how it works as I go, because I'm going to use it a lot. Because I'm not just interested in talking at you, ever, okay? One of the toughest things for me to do is things like TV interviews and that sort of thing, because they're like, talk at me. I'm like, I don't want to talk at you, I want to change you. I want you to leave here happier than you've ever been before. And to know it's possible, so you start choosing more of it. Why? Because I'm totally selfish. That's why I live on this planet with you. And if you get happier, it's easier for me to be happier. It's not really from selfishness, but it sounds good, you know? I would love to see a planet of happy people. And I want to say this again, because notice when I say that, there's part of you that goes, yes, please. And then there's part of you that goes, well, that's not pragmatic. If I'm happy, how am I going to create my life? Let me tell you how, from total ease and joy. It's the weirdest thing. Have you ever noticed that when you're happier, things show up easier? When you're happier, things can show up miraculously, but when you're really sad, everything makes you sadder. When you're really sad, when you're depressed, when you're cranky, when you're angry, everything. Hi, how you doing? He's like, I got a front row seat. And I'm young enough to where I can have a front row seat and nobody can say I can't. We have a young future happy person over here. But do you notice when you're happier, things work better? But how much do we value happiness? It's not valued at all in the world we live in, which is very strange. Now, notice when I say that, something comes up. All you got to notice from this point forward in your whole life is when something comes up, okay? Because what's true will always make you lighter. That's tool number 3. Oops. We may be going out of order. That's what happens when you have ADHD. There is no order. You go from 1 to 287, back to 6, over to 3, and somebody's like, can't you go in order? And I'm like, no, sorry. I can't, I just can't. So, let me give you, we're on tool number 3. We haven't covered number 2 yet, but we're on number 3, which is, oh my goodness, which is what's true for you will always make you lighter. A lie always makes you heavier. Now, that's a blanket statement, and it may not make as much sense as the awareness of what's it like when you hang out with somebody you really like and care about. How many of you have at least one person in your life that doesn't judge you, that likes you just the way you are? If you don't, please ask for some, okay? I did not have that 25 years ago. I didn't have one person in my life that wasn't in judgment of me. My mom did her best, but she was in so much judgment of her, it was tough for her to not, and she cares about me, she loves me, but I didn't have one person. Actually, I guess my mom did. Okay, I had one person in my life that didn't judge me. What's it like when you hang out with that person? Oh my God, you notice how it feels like the weight of the world comes off of your shoulders? Well, that is an experience of what's true. See, judgment is always a lie. Now, a lot of us don't even know when we're judging. We've just been so conditioned to be on judgment autopilot, okay? Once again, I want to give you some tools for that too. So many tools, so little time. But what's true for you always makes you lighter. So if you can think of being around that person where you have no judgment, and you're like, oh, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. It feels like the weight of the world starts coming off of your shoulders. Hey, I have a question. What if you could be that person for you? That's being you. And it's a journey. For everything I talk about tonight, I'm hoping to inspire you. By the way, if anything I say inspires you, all you got to do, rather than, oh my God, I could never do that. Why? Because your point of view creates your reality. How many times have you said that? And that's exactly what shows up. Instead, tool number 4. Look who's going in order, people. Hello. That's right. This guy. Woo! Instead, let's use tool number 4, shall we? You guys are like, I didn't know there was a tool number 4. That's why I'm letting you know. If you're inspired by anything, rather than the conclusion, oh, I can't do that. Here's the difficulty. Whenever you say something like that, you are correct. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. Your point of view creates your reality. Reality does not create your point of view. So when you are maybe inspired by something, rather than going, I can't do that, oh, that'll never happen for me, okay? I was a guy who was so depressed and so unsuccessful, I was going to be killing myself 25 years ago, okay? So when you sit there in the chair and go, well, it's easy for him, it wasn't when I started, I've just been doing it and found that it works, which is why I'm letting you know that there's a different choice available, okay? So instead of I can't do that, ask a question. So two things, if you're inspired by anything tonight, or any other time in your life, you're gonna have a long life after this, okay? And I hope it's a joyful one, okay? Just think of this for a moment. How many more years are you projecting that you're gonna live? Let's say it's at least 20, okay? Maybe a lot longer, okay? Maybe hundreds, I don't know. But what if tonight you went, you know what? Whatever it takes, those are gonna be the happiest years of my life. I'm gonna choose happiness starting now, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it takes. That's where you start, okay? So if you're inspired by anything, like maybe being happy, oh, there's a weird idea. You might be the only one of your kind. You might be the only one in your family that chooses to be happy. That's okay. They may not know it's possible. They grew up with people just like you grew up with people. It's okay, but what if you might be the only person who has that space of happiness so they can know it's possible? So what you do is, you do two things. For anything you're inspired and desire, you first go, you know what? I'm asking for that. Whatever it looks like, whatever it takes, I'm gonna have that. Okay? That's your demand. That's where you start changing the course of your life, in that moment. And it's not significant. It's just, I'm having that. That's the significance to changing your life right there. What? It sounds so simple. I know! We have been lied to our entire lives. People want you to think it's fucking rocket science and you have to starve yourself and live in a cave with monkeys to change something. No. Why do they do that? So they can be like, I have the answer. You're not capable. Pay me money and follow me. Here's my response to that. Fuck you very much. Okay? Everything that brought up, right, wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 100, short splice, formats, bases, creations, and beyonds. But it is, that's my actual response to that. People want you to think it's the most difficult thing in the world. No, it is not. It starts with your demand for something different. You going, I would like to be happier. There it is. That's the beginning. And then, what do you do after that? You go, what is it gonna take? So asking a question rather than coming to conclusion. The conclusion is I could never have that. The question is, what would it take to have that? See, because here's the other thing we get lied to about all the time. You are the only one that knows what it's gonna take to change your life. What? Somebody should have told us that at the beginning too. You know what? I'm gonna write a book that's for every little child on the planet. Here's the stuff your parents never told you that will make your life successful. Oh, I did write a book. It's called Being You, Changing the World. Okay. But we make a demand and then ask some questions. What's it gonna take? See, because we can either do judgment and conclusion, oh, that's not possible, I'll never have that, or we can antidote that, we can undo that by asking a question. A question always opens up another door of possibilities, okay? So a question is something like, wow, what would it take? What else is possible I've never considered? How much fun can I have? What's right about me I'm not getting? Another great one, how does it get any better than this? Okay? How many of you know somebody who does Access who has annoyed the living shit out of you by saying, how does it get any better than this when something happens? How many of you are those people that have annoyed your friends and family? Right? I know, it's so good. They're like, why do you keep saying that? And you're like, don't worry, I'm in a cult. But it's a happy cult. Everything that brought up, POC and POD. Okay, POC and POD is the short form of the clearing statement, by the way. You can use that at any time. So how does it get any better than this? You want to ask when something good happens or when something bad happens. When something good happens, it'll make it even better. Most people, when something good happens, they go, yay, and they stop it. Instead, go, how does it get any better than this? Oh my God, I just found 100 pesos on the ground. How does it get any better than that? Awesome, okay? How does it get any better than this? It makes a good situation better. It makes a bad situation better. If you don't know what else to do, something's coming up and you're like, ah! Just go, okay, how does it get any better than this? How does it get, at least you're doing something. You know, it may or may not change it, who knows, but at least you're doing something. And the one thing that inspires us more than anything else is taking action, okay? We live in a world of reaction, but in actuality, the thing that inspires us is taking action. Okay, at least I'm doing something. How does it get any better than this? Okay? And then if you want to, you can go POC and POD everything that doesn't allow it to get better. POC stands for going back to the point of creation, of the limitation and undoing it. POD stands for the point of destruction, of wherever you took something that was great and undid it and undoing that. Notice your mind is like, yeah, I know. It's a gift I have. So how does it get any better than this? Ooh, another great question for you. What are the infinite possibilities for anything? Okay? And I know some of this stuff can sound so simple, but it's because it is. But here's the thing, just because it's simple doesn't mean it doesn't work. Now, your choice to use it is your choice to use it, okay? As I was about to say before, please do not follow me, follow you. I don't know as much as you know about your life, okay? I'm amazing, but I got enough to do to handle my own life and create a worldwide business and do all kinds of other things, okay? Do not follow me, and please do not follow anyone but you. You know why? Because you know. You know. Oh my God, I already did number 6. Oh, and I did number 5, and I did number 4, and I'm already talking about number 7. Oh, I am so good. Oh my God, I really like myself. Thank you. Okay, I'm done. Have a good day. Happy being you day to you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you are the only one who actually knows what's true for you, and what's true for you will always make you lighter. If you're doing anything and you get heavy, you're having a great, have you ever had this? You're having a great day and then you start browsing the internet, checking your social media feeds, and your great day goes, I have a suggestion for you. Stop. As soon as it gets heavy, as soon as it's not happy for you anymore, stop. And then ask a question. What can I do to get happy again? Okay? Or tool number 2, which is, who does this shit belong to? Okay, because we're all highly aware, okay? Like really aware, like so aware it would scare you if you recognized how aware you are, okay? Like when you think about when you come into a room like this, and you know how you're like, you get here and you're like, you know, and sometimes you're having a great day and you're like, hi everyone, I'm beautiful, good to see you. Oh my goodness, I just strolled in from the rain. Yeah, just, woo! You know, those are great days, that's awesome. But what happens is we're so psychic, we're so highly aware. Have you ever been really happy and walked into a room where somebody was sad or angry? And all of a sudden your happy feels like it's gone, and now you're embodying sadness and anger? Was it... Who is letting the children have so much fun? Hey, I have a question. How many of you were young once? Probably most of you. Okay. I'm a doctor. I know how this works. I got it. Okay. It just took me a while. I was a little behind in my mind. Okay. When you were young, were you allowed to run free? No. Stop being so happy. Stop making so much noise. Stop. How much do you still have in your head? Stop. This constant, non-stop state of judgment of you. You want to start killing it now? You want me to give you a tool for it? Awesome. Here's what you do. Everything that, whenever it comes up, here's what you do. You go pock and pod that. You're welcome. Have a nice life. Okay, but there's a few more elements of it, but fundamentally, when you're saying pock and pod, you're asking to go back to where you bought it, the point of creation. But not just, because when you had that with, let's say mom and dad, you were too much. See, a lot of you were too much. Some of you have forgotten that you were too much because you were made so wrong for it so long ago that you didn't want to be a bad person, so now you have put walls around you and judgments against you, so you're not the too much that you were made wrong for. Because you assume if mommy and daddy, who are supposed to be the ones that love you, and they are doing their best, by the way, they just didn't have any tools. They grew up in this world with judgment and all that stuff. We might want to move, we have a drip there. Might want to move the computers and put a towel. Wait, pock and pod. Damn. Wouldn't that have been awesome if the leak was like, stop. Fucking miraculous stuff over here. Okay, so what happens is when we're made wrong for anything, being too much, being too loud, being too happy, we then take that on as though we're somehow wrong. But when you're a little kid and you're just happy, are you wrong or are you just enthusiastic? Are you just running around because you haven't learned to control yourself yet? Everything that is. Now notice, I'll say something like that and it brings something up. That's all you got to notice. It brings something up. I don't know what the something is, but in a room full of a few hundred people, plus thousands of people online, you're going to be, not only is it going to bring your thing up, but anything that feels like yours that anybody else has, you're going to be aware of that too. Which is our tool, who does this belong to? But we'll get to that in a minute. So when you notice something come up, when you go from light to, or when you go from hi to bye, just go everything that is, I destroy and uncreate, pock and pod. Okay? Once again, I know it sounds so simple, and I get it. And if you're like me, you'll run the whole clearing statement. But for now, let's make it really friggin' simple. When something comes up that you would like to change, when something comes up when you go from happy to crappy, everything that is pock and pod. And what you could do, you go pock and pod, 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 pock, 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 you know? Because what'll happen, good job, chicken. Okay, what'll happen is that, here's how, this is so beautiful, it's so cool, because that's your choice. That's your choice coming in. That's where you're like, hey, something came up, I don't know what it is, but I don't desire to live with this crap in my head anymore. Pock and pod. Now, if you take any access classes, you're going to notice there are a lot of parts to these different things, okay? And some things are more complex than others, let's put it that way. But this is you choosing for you, okay? And as I said before, please follow you. Do not follow me. In fact, please don't follow anyone but you. You can receive contribution from a lot of people if you're willing to know that you know and follow your knowing, okay? It's only when you're willing to follow your knowing that you can receive contribution from other people. Because when you're willing to know, if I'm willing to know and you're like, hey, let's do this, if I'm willing to know and follow my knowing, then I can see, does this make things bigger and lighter, or does it get heavier and more contracted? Right? And she might say, hey, let's do this. It's the best thing in the whole wide world. And I'm like, no. Another tool you want to learn No. Okay? Be willing to not have to say yes to everyone and everything to try to prove that you're a good person. Exactly. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, poveds, basies, creations, and beyonds. So in this realm of when you were a little kid and you had freedom to just be. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I almost don't remember a time. I do remember happy times from a kid, and I do remember a lot of other unhappy times from being a kid, but I don't remember ever feeling free to be free. It's like from the time my mom went, and I came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a good person. I'm not gonna be a bad person. I'm gonna be a good person. I'm not gonna be a bad person. How many of you can sort of relate to that? Where it's like you came out and you're already judging you for everything. Oh my God. By the way, judgment is one of the biggest killers of possibility and happiness there is. You can either judge or you can be grateful. You can judge or you can be happy. You can judge or you can create. What? Okay, when you judge, what do? Pock and pod. Okay? Judgment of you, judgment of somebody else, pock and pod. And if it's a really intense one, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock, 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 pock. Okay? This is a gift you give you. It's so cool. And some of you I will never see again. Some of you will never come to another Access anything. Please take these tools and use them as a gift for you. Okay? If we had a population on the planet that recognized that they could be empowered to choose and change things, would things look different? Yeah, way different. What if you're one of the few people who's willing to hear that call, to hear that voice that says, hey, there's something different possible? And what if you were willing to get secretly happy? What if you didn't have to tell anyone? Because how many of you, when you get happy, what do? You want to tell everyone. You want them to get happy too. What happens when you do? Most of the time, wah, wah, wah. Why? Because you know how I say don't follow me? Well, you're trying to make them choose something that they're not ready to choose yet. But here's the weird part. If you get happy, the people in your life that desire it will be inspired by it, and then they'll find their own path, because we each have our own path. Several paths, actually. But we each have to walk our own path. Just because I get happy today, because I've been looking at all kinds of stuff and changing stuff and whatever, and I'm like, hey, I'm happy, let's be happy. What's going to happen if she's not there? She's going to be like, no. Thank you for caring about me. Bye-bye. And then what happens? What do we do in that case? What do we do in that case? What do we do? If I'm happy and I try to make you happy, because I like you, because you're wonderful and beautiful and amazing and phenomenal, and I see how phenomenal and amazing you are, and I see you don't see it a lot, but I see it. I see you. Have I terrified her enough yet? Okay. She's like, stop seeing me, please. Everything that brought up, pock and pod. Okay, good, okay. Oh my goodness. So what happens is if I'm doing that and they don't receive it, what do? I then try to shut it down. How many of you really, really, really desire other people to get happy? And if they won't, you won't. But here's the weird part. Recognize this. Oh, by the way, use this tool of what's true makes you lighter while I'm speaking with you tonight. If I say something that makes you lighter, it's true for you. That's part of following you. That's part of your knowing, okay? So even if it goes contrary to everything you thought before you walked in, before you showed up online, wherever you are watching this, or later, if it makes you lighter, it's true for you, okay? So here's the one thing that I found. Let's take you for a moment, okay? if you're having a crappy day and somebody else is super happy, what do you usually do? Right? And you're like, oh, not me, Dr. Dain. I embrace the happy. No, you don't. Because let's face it, you want to be happy, you have stuff going on and they're happy, you're like, asshole. Hey, by the way, any of you who have judgments of words like asshole, everywhere when I say asshole, you think, wow, he's an asshole. Will you just run and grit all that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, button, buck, all 100 charts, boys, Boaz, Macy's, creations, and beyond. I love it because some of you are spiritual. I just fucked with your whole world on that one. You're welcome. Because spiritual, there's got some great stuff in it, but there's so much judgment about what's wrong and what's right and what's good and what's bad. It's become a new religion that's even more restrictive than the old one. To which I want to say, Jesus Christ. Oh, that was the old religion. Sorry. Okay, Pakapad. Sorry, Pakapad. Do you notice when you laugh more, life is better? Let's do more of that. And here's the weird part. Let's not do more of it. And we've all been taught that if you laugh too much, you just don't take things seriously enough. You don't understand how life should be. Life is very serious. I'm like, I know, because you're not laughing. But if you didn't make things significant and you laugh more, how much more fun would things get? So here was my conversation about here you are. Happy person comes along. Hi! Oh my God, I just got laid. It was amazing. So, see, I'm in Mexico. I can say things like that. Huh? Yeah. Latinos! Woo! Yeah, baby. Try to talk about sex in the United States. Oh my God. We don't do that here. Please don't talk about it. Anyway, somebody comes along like, oh my God, I just had the best sex of my life. Hi. And you're like, I hate you in every way. So, but the initial thing, so trying to make somebody else happy, here's the thing. How many of you try to give people you're happy? Oh my God. Why do you do that? Because you are such a caring, beautiful creature. That's why you do that. You don't do that because you're wrong. You don't do that because you're stupid. You do that because you care so much that when you have happiness, you would like other people to have it. And you know if they choose more, it'll be greater for all of us, right? Will you acknowledge that, please? So everywhere you've been told, or everywhere you thought, or everywhere you've been told energetically, because most of what we're told is energetic, most of it is not verbal. Everywhere you've been told energetically, or have the point of view that you're stupid and wrong for trying to make people happy and trying to give them your happy, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. So what if that desire to contribute happiness to people is one of the great gifts of you, the being? Let's just be with that for a moment. Exactly. She gets it. What if that desire to contribute happiness to people is one of the great gifts of you, the being? What if that's you being you? Wow. Now, I'm gonna, with this clearing statement, with the POC and POD thing, I say we destroy and uncreate. Well, for every limitation we keep, you know, it's kind of like we have these, like we're carrying around a sack of bricks, you know? And so I'm asking, we destroy, meaning we destroy this brick? And will you uncreate? Will you, I think I'm going through puberty. Oh my God, it's amazing. You uncreate. hairball, sorry. Okay. Will you destroy and uncreate? Will you destroy the brick? But the other beautiful element of this, will you uncreate, meaning take your creative energy out of keeping the brick in place? Because we're the ones who keep the bricks of our life in place. Okay? So I say, will you destroy and uncreate everything that you've done to think you're somehow wrong? And you say yes, and then I run the clearing statement, and then at least part of that brick or one of those bricks dissolves. And now you're carrying fewer bricks. And now you can walk a little lighter throughout your life. And remember, what's true for you makes you lighter. So the more of the lies, the more of the judgments, the more of these bricks you get rid of, the lighter you get. The way Access works is this. You hear this today, you start using it even a tiny bit. And by the way, please don't try to be perfect. Oh my God, by the way, perfect is the highest form of judgment there is. When you try to be perfect, when you have to be perfect, and most of us try to be perfect because we've been made wrong our whole lives for not being perfect enough. So we think if I can be perfect enough, the people that are judging me won't judge me anymore, including me. Except when you have to be perfect, you have to be in a nonstop state of judgment of you to see if you're being perfect enough. What? Do you want me to say that again? You're like, no, I'm depressed now. So what happens is we try to be perfect so that we are not judged. And so we will not feel compelled to judge ourselves. But the whole idea that we need to be perfect puts us in a nonstop state of judgment of everything we choose for whether or not it's perfect enough. I love looking at, especially the back half of the class. Those people that were too afraid to get close to me. Those guys, I'm kidding. Or am I? Maybe that's what, no, just kidding. I love it because the looks on your face are like, I'm going to say this one more time. This is so good. The idea that we have, the lie, oh, by the way, this may be a good time to just simply acknowledge there are a lot of lies we've been living with, okay? There are a lot of lies we've been told. There are a lot of lies that are out there in society, a lot of lies out there. Pretty much everything on social media is a lie. Sorry, There's a lot of lies. But one of the big lies that we've been taught is, so we've been judged. How many of you have been judged? Yeah, I know, right? And as a result of that, how much do you then judge you to try to be more perfect? A lot, right? And so what that sets up when you try to be perfect is a nonstop state of judgment of you and everything you choose, but not only that, everything you think. So I'm just going to acknowledge that for a moment. Some of you might be like, oh my God, that's what's been going on in my head the whole time. This nonstop judgment machine. So all of the automatic judgment machines that you've been instituting and living from without even realizing it, especially because everybody else seems to do it too. And the idea, all the lies that if we were just more perfect, we wouldn't have to judge us anymore, except that's what causes us to judge us all the time, is this attempt to be perfect rather than enjoy being imperfect. Oh. I know you didn't know there was another choice, right? Exactly. What if part of being you is enjoying being imperfect? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Okay? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100. Shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Wow. I just, one of the things that occurs to me is as I'm speaking with you, I'm also receiving what you're receiving from what I'm saying. Kind of interesting, eh? And I just realized if you got nothing else out of tonight, today, other than the willingness to head in the direction of enjoying you with all of your imperfections. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you you. And in the world we live in, where people are trying to be perfectly artificially intelligent, I don't know if you've read any emails or things that, people have created with ChatGPT and all that sort of stuff, but they're so soulless most of the time. Like you need a person to add to it. See, that's what the idea of judged perfection creates. Anyway, everything that brought, I have a thing. How much energy came up when I mentioned artificial intelligence? Ha ha ha! You're like, I feel like I'm living in Terminator. Help! Well, my beautiful friends, if you start to be you, whatever that is, as flawed and beautiful as you are, all of the stuff that they're predicting with artificial intelligence and everything else is not going to have the detrimental impact. Interesting. Everything that is times a gazillion, and everywhere artificial intelligence is another thing that brings up all kinds of crap. Remember I said, all you want to do is recognize this brings something up and then go destroy and uncreate, pock and pod, or just pock and pod. Why? Because that crap that brings up, it's not light, it's not true for you. You're buying into some form of reaction of something, and you can just let it go by your choice to let it go. That is the beauty of you, you crazy, imperfect, flawed, beautiful, crazy creature. Everything that is, times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100. Shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So, if you simply were like, wow, you know what? As of today, I'm going to let perfect start going away. I'm not going to get it all today. Okay? You're not going to change everything today. The beauty of this is it's about adding to the journey of your life and living. It's about adding to the journey of being alive. That's what this stuff is about. It's not like, oh my God, I got to get perfect and happy today because otherwise it'll never work. No, silly goose. You're going to be alive for a long time. I hope you choose every single day of your life to get greater. So, all the auto response and reaction systems and structures, all of your auto responders that are about trying to be perfect enough to not have a problem, and if you were just perfect enough, you wouldn't have a problem, which creates a nonstop state of judgment of you and everything and everyone, to such a degree you feel like you're not really present anymore. We destroy and uncreate all that, please. Times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Hello. Do you guys notice? Like, go ahead, think. You're like, I think my thinker is broken. I think I disconnected my thinker. Yeah, that's what happens when you're being you. There's a space. In that space, here's one of the other lies that we bought, is that space is emptiness. Here's an interesting thing. If you study quantum physics, it tells you that space is full of possibilities. But how many times have you gotten to a sense of space where you had no thoughts and you went, oh, what's wrong? Because your thinker is not thinking as much. You're not judging everything. You're like, what's wrong? What if that's not wrong? Here's another question for you. What's right about this I'm not getting? And what's right about me I'm not getting? Great questions to take you out of the wrongness of you. It's awesome. What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? So this sense of space that you have right now, what's right about this, but also what is possible from here? Oh my goodness. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyond. So as I was saying, I did not finish my point about you being happy and changing the world. But have you ever been inspired by what somebody else had? Are you aware that for you guys, the one thing that makes you desire something different is when someone else has it. Now, I'm not talking about their husband, okay? No, I don't. Everything that brought up, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pock, 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 pock. I'm not talking about that. When somebody has something like, I don't know, like a new outfit or something, a new iPhone, a sense of joy when everybody else is in the crapper. Isn't that the one thing that inspires you? See, because people are inspired by the things they don't have that they desire. So, why am I saying this? Because rather than try to give people the happiness, what you want to do is be the happiness, and the few people that actually desire something different will start choosing it because you have shown them it's possible. So everything you have done to not acknowledge that you are the inspiration for other people, that you're the inspiration to lightness, you're inspiration to possibilities, you're the inspiration to joy, you're the inspiration to being. Because when you're being, it's that space beyond judgment. It's that space where no matter what's going on, you're willing to know that you can head in the direction of changing it. It's that space where you feel connected to everyone and don't have to put up any walls and barriers. You don't have to feel separate at all. When you're being you, you walk through the world with, it's like your head is held high. You like the person looking back at you in the mirror, but it's also not significant. It just is. So everything that doesn't allow you to know for you that you, being you, can inspire other people, and you don't have to try to change them anymore. All of you who have been judging you for not being able to change other people, everywhere it's been one of the primary sources of judgment because you're an unsuccessful savior. Is anybody named Jesus Cristo here? I mean, okay, posiblemente un Jesús o dos, pero creo que no hay un Jesucristo aquí. Okay. Muchísimas gracias, estoy aprendiendo. Oh, you're the best. Pero muy despacio. Oh, so everything that is, everywhere you've been judging you for not being able to save the world. And everywhere it's a thing that goes through your head without even you thinking about it. You just know you're wrong because you can't save people. You can't make people happy. You can't let them know they have value. What if you're not wrong? What if it's okay to empower them with choice? What if it's okay to care about them anyway? And be like, I know you're suffering. I am so here if I can do anything. How about a hug? You don't want a hug? You want to kill me? Okay, fine. No problem. But what if instead of you having to think it's your responsibility to change them, what if instead you were like, I care for you so much, and I realized that if somebody were trying to change me when I wasn't willing to change, I would resist it. Right? Because if somebody says, hey, you need to do this, what are you going to do? That's what you're going to do. Why? Just because they said it, even if it's something that's great for you. You know what I mean? So when we try to enforce change on people, it's a recipe for judgment of us, of ourselves, but it's also a recipe for them to judge. And then we walk around feeling wrong and bad, and we don't even know because all we did was care so much that we would take away their pain and suffering if we could. But will they let you? No. You know why? Because they chose it. I don't know why. If you come to an access class, you can get to a microphone and ask a question, and we can uncover why and undo it very fast. Okay? I don't know why each of us chooses what we choose because we choose what we choose. That's why. I'm going to say that again in English. I would say it in Spanish, but I can't. Something about coger. That's... Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, wait. Okay. First, everything that brought up. Everything that brought up, we destroyed and uncreated, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, buck, all 100, shorts, boys, bovats, Macy's, creations, and beyonds. So, people choose what they choose because they choose what they choose when they choose what they choose. There is no why. You think it should be logical. So did I, but it's never logical. Like, think of the things you choose. Are they logical? Hell no. You think they should be, but they're not. And then you make yourself wrong when they're not logical, but they're not. People choose what they choose when they choose what they choose because they choose what they choose. That's why. What if you were like, oh, I didn't know that before. Okay. And what if you looked at all the people in your life you've been trying to change right now and went, I set you free to choose, my people. I am no longer Jesucristo. Jesucristo no más. I mean, bye-bye. And what if that's the most caring thing you can do? Because how do you feel when somebody thinks you should choose something different? It feels like you're being judged, right? And when you feel like you're being judged, it feels like you're being judged. It's really heavy. Judgment is the heaviest thing there is. What if you didn't have to judge anybody else anymore? And what if that is part of the recipe for no longer judging you? Oh my goodness. If you didn't judge anybody else and then also stop judging you, would our world get lighter? If nobody you lived around judged each other anymore, how different would that be? Just think of the people you live with in your house. If nobody judged anyone else anymore, and instead everybody was like, hey, everybody's choosing. I'm here to contribute. Ask me any questions so I can get you to some awareness of what might be lighter. I'll even pock and pod, even though I don't know what the hell that is. But when something comes up that's heavy and you don't know what to do, just go pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock, 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 pock. You know? Like, be the space for something different. You don't have to know how to create the difference. This is the other weird part. You don't have to know how to create the difference. You just have to choose to be the space for something different. So once again, everything you've done to make you wrong, and everything that doesn't allow us to start changing that wrongness now, recognizing that you being wrong is not a gift to the world. You being wrong is the opposite of a gift to the world. Okay? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. So, I want to make sure I got all 7 tools. Number 1, being you is not about getting you right. Yeah. Number 2, who does this belong to? Who does this belong to is that awareness that 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your judgments, the yuck, stuck, and what the fuck energies that come up in your life are things you're picking up on from other people. If you've ever been happy and called someone and all of a sudden you're unhappy, you want to go, who did that belong to? Here's the weird part. We're like tuning forks. We're like quantum energy receivers. Oh my goodness, I said quantum again. I'm so smart. Okay, we're like quantum energy receivers. Basically, if you're like this, like woo, or like ooh, or whoa, okay? If you're like that and you call somebody or tap into somebody, and you don't even tap into them by thinking about them, you tap into them because we're all interconnected already. What? Yeah, we're all already interconnected. What? Why, Dr. Dain? Why? It's not my fault. I didn't do it. It's just the way it works, okay? One of the ideas in Access is you're an infinite being, which means you're infinite, which means you're as big as the universe is, which means your space intersects with everybody else's space already. How many of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and judgments, and twists, and turns, and all this sort of stuff do you pick up on in the world and think it's yours? There's a tool. Who does this belong to? When you ask who does this belong to, whatever you're going through lightens up. It's not yours. Return to sender with consciousness attached, okay? Like back a few years ago when the world was, going through its thing, how much did it seem like stress was more present than ever? How much of that was not yours? See, I didn't say the word pandemic because I didn't want to activate all that stuff. that occurred during the pandemic. Okay, so I'm not going to say the word pandemic because I don't want to bring up weird shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about the pandemic and the lockdowns and the disease and the masks and the deaths and now everything that brought up. Now notice there's some shit in there. Okay, there is some yucky stuff in there. But here's my question: how much of it is not yours? How much of it is what you perceive in the world and perceived in the world, but nobody ever told you 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your judgments, your points of view, your yuck, stuck and heavy energies are not yours. Dude, wouldn't that have been helpful during COVID? Hey, it's not yours! Oh, thank you so much. I know, but it feels like my doctor did. Exactly, and that is one of the biggest lies, that it's yours because you can feel it. Because you can feel it means you're aware. Because you can feel it means you vibrate on a quantum level and can change that vibration at any time. Everything you did to buy it is yours, and all the yuck, stuck, and what the hell is going on stuff that got brought up even when I just talked about it again. And this is what happens. You'll have something that you were aware of all the stress and all the stuff that all kinds of people are going through that they don't know what to do with. And so you perceive it and you feel it and you're like, oh my God, unless you go, who does this belong to? How aware am I? Oh my God, I'm so aware. And if you recognize it as awareness, guess what happens? You can start using that to know the future, to know, that may sound like a big conversation. I think I won't go there. You can start using it though, to be aware of everyone and everything so you can create what you would like to create because you're no longer separate from everyone and everything. So if you would like more money, for example, you can tap into the space of having more money and be like, okay, what's it gonna take to have that show up? Everything that brought up, times a godzillion. I mentioned the pandemic and money in the same paragraph. I have some serious courage, okay. Everything that brought up, times a godzillion. And everywhere when I bring that stuff up, it's a little more difficult to laugh. It's a little more difficult to access the lightness. Why? That's what that stuff was designed to create. It was designed to create you going in a tiny little contracted shit pile so you wouldn't be as free to set the world free. Everything that brought up, times a godzillion, we just run and grade it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, bovets, bases, creations, and beyonds. And everywhere I said that, and now I'm a conspiracy theorist. Do you notice the energy that stuff brings up? Bizarre shit, right? Before I mentioned the pandemic and all the heaviness and brought this stuff up, but this is how this world works, and this is what we can change. Okay, because the stuff that gets brought up for you that makes a contraction is the stuff that is not true for you. Remember, what's true for you makes you lighter. A lie makes you heavier. In other words, the stuff that comes up that creates a contraction is all the stuff that's not true for you. Part of it is what you picked up in everybody else's world around the planet, like all the people and people close to you and all the stuff. Part of it is just seems like it's in the air. But if when these things come up, you can go, wait a minute. I was at Being You Day. I'm not giving up my happiness so I can go here and just be stuck and not know what to do. Because that's the thing that sticks us the most. And one of the things I love the most about Access is that we can change the energetics of things. We don't have to be stuck anymore by not knowing what it is. I don't know what any of that is. I just know I talk about it and everybody goes, uh-oh. What is that? It's this. See, and how much did you think you were alone? You're like, oh my God, I'm the only one with, no, you're not. Everybody who heard it was like, oh, and then you go, and then you go, and then you go, I was so happy just a few minutes ago. Why does this always happen to me? Because I was happy and now I'm not happy anymore. Did I just do that? Everything that brought up, times a godzillion. We just try to grade it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, fun, buck, all 100, shorts, boys, bovets, bases, creations, and beyond. Boom, shakalaka. So, are you lighter? Some of you are like, Now, hold on, wait, I want to see how that looks. That sort of matches the energy. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, now how many of you, when you get, how many of you grew up with people that did that all the time? And how wrong were you if you didn't go along with it? Oh, dude. So now stuff comes up and you feel, because here's what happens. You are such a caring creature. And when somebody does that sort of thing, you so want to understand it. And you so want to take it away. So what ends up happening is whenever that sort of heavy energy comes up, you make it real because you think if you can understand it, then you can help people change it. Here's what I found. When you get to go, everything that is pock and pod. Because if you'll be the lightness that other people don't know is possible, they will start to know it's possible, okay? So everything you've been doing where you feel duty bound when something is heavy or twisted or yuck, to dive in, to try to be present with it, and to think that just letting it go, I can't let it go. Everything you've decided you can't let go. Everything you've decided you can't change. Everything you decided you have to hold on to because it's you being a good person in the world. Oh, what if that is also a lie? What if you are a damn good person right now? Does it make you lighter when I say it? Okay, so this self-judgment we've been doing does not serve anyone. Does not serve anyone. Us letting go of the self-judgment, us being less like that, that could be a dance move. Okay, if you guys go out to the club and use it, I want a short video, okay? Oh, you can call it being you. No, just kidding. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100. Shorts, boys, bovads, basies, creations, and beyonds. I'm hoping you're getting a sense that things can be a lot lighter for us, okay? Now, you're gonna get the audios of this evening, this day, whatever, I don't know, this billion years together. You're gonna get the audios, please listen again. And one of the things I would also invite you to is write down a list of things that make you happy. Things and people. Things that when you do them, you get lighter and happier. It's very simple. I'm gonna give you a few other, so write down a list of things that when you do them, make you happy. Because I'm hoping I can put this into words, which is, well, so you notice there's a different space. Something is lighter in our worlds after being here together, yeah? Well, the more you dip into that, the more you listen, the more that will become your reality. Because everything that we're doing that gets us to lightness is undoing the lies and the stuck in the judgment and accessing our being and what's true. That's how you get to lightness. People are like, what is being you? I'm like, when you're happy. That's not enough. I'm like, I know, but that's what happens when you're being you. You're just happy. And you don't have to judge and hate and separate and all that. You're just like, hello, people. You know, people can be who they are. You don't have a problem. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to change them. You don't need to fix them to prove that you're not a bad person anymore. You're just like, hello, people. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. Nice to see you all. You're so amazing. You're beautiful. You're phenomenal. You're an amazing gift. Ah! How many of you wanted permission to walk through the world like that? Never got it. I'm giving you permission now. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, bovads, basies, creations, and beyond. Yeah, to that. Woo! Woo! Oh, baby. So, okay, so write down a list of things that when you do them, you get happy. And then, when you need to get happy, go do one of them. I know, it sounds like rocket science, doesn't it? You're like, oh, okay. Because here's the thing. If you start using these access consciousness tools, what are the tools? Well, question instead of judgment. What's true makes you lighter. Puck and pod to change stuff. You start using these tools, what's going to happen is your life is going to go like this. And it's just going to get lighter and lighter. Now, here's the thing. No matter what journey you're on, it's going to go like this too. Why? Because as you get more and more and more happiness and more of you and more lightness, what will happen is you'll see other things that you want to change, and you have points of view that are getting in the way of that changing, at which point it's going to feel like this. But if you keep using the tools, see, before Access, I was on my life was kind of like this, and then it might go like this, and then it go, and then I would do all kinds of stuff, and then finally I'd get back here and go like this. With Access, it goes like this, woo, and there will be downs. You're not wrong, okay? It's just part of the journey, but it's because you have points of view that you can now change. Because when you know you can change stuff, you bring up the stuff that needs to change. Because once again, your point of view creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your point of view. So your point of view creates your reality. So what happens is once you start having more happiness, more joy, more ease, you start desiring even more happiness, more joy, and more ease, right? Yeah, well, so what happens is you have points of view that if you change them, will allow you to live and be that happiness, joy, and ease more. But it's going to seem like, oh my God, I was so happy yesterday, and now I have all these points of view. But if you keep using the access tools, it'll go up, it'll go down, but it'll soon go back up even higher. So my point about this is, don't make yourself wrong. Don't make yourself wrong in the dip. Because what happens is, we got to gather our stuff and change some stuff. Did that make sense? Some of you are like, I do not understand what you're talking about. Okay, so my whole point is, don't make yourself wrong. There you go, you're welcome. Okay. Yes, that would have been easier had I realized I could just say that. Okay. So if you'll write a list of things that make you happy, hopefully the audio of this class will be on it. Okay, we have another thing for those of you that want to explore every element of access and consciousness, and it's called Access Me. It's an app like Spotify for consciousness, and it's $275 a month where you get the last 25 years of classes. What? Sorry, did you mistranslate? No, literally, because Gary, the founder of Access, and I were talking all the time. We're best friends. And we were looking and going, what's it actually going to take to create more consciousness on the planet? Because more consciousness is the one thing that will give us the awareness we need to change everything that is creating it so we don't have a sustainable living Earth. We're fully capable of creating a sustainable living Earth, but we're not even close right now, okay? The one thing that has the capacity to change that is more consciousness. What is more consciousness? More awareness. More consciousness is what creates every technological breakthrough we've ever had. But more consciousness also includes you having a sense of power and potency. So we were looking and going, okay, we've been doing an amazing thing with access consciousness around the world for the last 30 years. What's it going to take to accelerate that? And we went, well, what if we could make every class we've ever done available to people at a really reasonable thing? So that's what we created. So I just want you to know it's available. I'm not trying to sell you anything, okay? But for you, and as I'm bringing that up, there's another point I want to make, which again is follow you, okay? What's true will always make you lighter. And I want to give you one other question that you can ask. Would you like to know how to know what to choose? Right? Oh my God, me too. Well, I got this question about 15 years ago and it changed everything, okay? And it's based on your energetic awareness. It's this: when you go to choose anything, a relationship, a class, a car, a job, whatever. What will my life be like in 5 years if I choose this? And what will my life be like if I don't? Okay? Now, I'm saying be like, not look like, not even feel like, except you can sort of maybe get a feeling associated with it, but it's more like, remember what's true makes you lighter, has more space. So does it go like this, or does it go like this? Okay? So I'm gonna just give you an example. So what would your life be like if you moved in with my stepmother? Pakapot, 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 pakapot. It was a theoretical. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's okay. She'll be dead soon anyway. Don't worry about it. Anyway, everything that brought up. Pakapot. Okay, let's look at this for a moment. What will your life be like in 5 years as a result of participating in being you day? Dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. That's why we created Being You Day, for that right there, okay? So, and you also, here's the other part is, let your mind it's not mental. It's way faster. Here's the other thing, your knowing is instantaneous. It's light, it's like a feather touch on your cheek. Or like an angel farting in a hurricane. Yeah, that kind of lightness, okay? Your knowing is instantaneous, and nobody's ever told us. Your knowing is instantaneous, and it's so light that it's not like a brick. It's more like a, oh. So when I say, what will your life be like in 5 years as a result of being here, instantaneously you get a sense of space, of something, right? Now I'm guessing almost none of you got a sense of, oh my God, it's gonna be so much worse, right? Okay, I'm using that as an example, but with this, as with a lot of these things, you're gonna have to use them. This is a whole new language. Consciousness is a whole new language that has not been spoken on the planet before, except by the animals, and the plants, and the earth, and the ocean, and the mountains, and the streams, and the dirt, and the concrete, and the buildings, and the chairs, and the lights, and has not been spoken by people before. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. Everything else already is conscious. What? That was weird. That's why you like going out in nature, because it's not people-y. It's not all thinky, judgy, righty, wrongy, hatey, yucky. Huh? Everything that brought up. And everywhere you thought you were a people. Oh my God, what if you're not a people? Oh my God, what if you're a being, not a people? Oh my goodness, everything that doesn't allow you to know that, to perceive that, to receive that, and to be that, and actually enjoy that. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys. Frappuccino? Povad's, bases, creations, and beyonds. Oh my goodness. Do any of you have judgments of Frappuccino? Let me ask that, okay. So, Frappuccino, Coke. Does anybody have judgments of these things? Let's find out. Wow. Oh my God. Now here's the thing. When you don't have judgments of things, you can ask what will be a contribution to your body. Oh. This is an area where we've learned to judge so much. And then we have other people who are like, oh, this did this, or this will do this. But if instead you can just take a moment and ask your body, what will this be like if we choose this? If we choose this supplement, if we choose to drink a Coke, if we choose to eat this, if we choose to go on this diet or this eating plan. See, that's more consciousness right there. Where you ask and get a sense, does it do this or this? If you did nothing else after today, tonight, other than does it do this or this? Oh, also, when anything does this, go everything that is pak and pod. Pak and pod, pak and pod, pak and pod, pak, 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 pak. Oh my goodness. Recipe for lightness. And then from there, what else would you like to choose that would make your life greater? And I know it sounds very simple. It's only because it is very simple, but it seems very complex to choose the simplest of things, if you haven't noticed. But there's a certain point at which you start to go, you know what? I'd just like to be lighter and happier. And if so, just acknowledge it right now and go, whatever it takes, I'm having that. That, once again, is the beginning. And if you don't remember, I gave you some tools and some different things earlier, like, hey, I'm making the demand, pock and potting everything that doesn't allow it. And what else is possible? What's it going to take for this to show up sooner than I can imagine? And what are the infinite possibilities? There's a few other things that you'll get. If you signed up, you'll get the audio of this class. I say again, please listen. Please let this be a gift that continues to gift you. And here's the funny part. You're going to listen, and every time you listen, you're going to be like, when did he say that? There'll be at least one new thing you hear each time, if not several. Why? Because if you haven't noticed, has being here given you some more space? Yeah, well, guess what? That's not an artificial thing. That's more of your being. That's what consciousness does. And that's not me. I mean, I am amazing. I mean, but no, that's not me. It's me being me contributing to you, but really it's you. It's us. It's not me doing, oh, booga, 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 booga. You know what I mean? How many times have you been in a room, in a classroom or a workshop or, I don't know, online or something, and the person's like, I'm doing this to you, but I'm not doing anything to you. I'm inviting you to be you. This lightness you're having is you. Huh. Don't you wish somebody would have told you when you were like 0? Yeah, I know, me too. But oh well, at least we have it now. Okay, but the whole idea of consciousness is where everything exists and nothing is judged, which is where you get to be you without judgment, which is where you get to be you and actually be happy and light. What else is possible? Now, we're pretty much at the point where I've fried the living snot out of you. I want to tell you a really quick story about translation that I think will be very helpful, if not moderately entertaining. See, we have translators. If you haven't noticed, a lot of you have translation in your ear. We have these amazing translators in Access. Can we give the translators a hand? Man, these people are so amazing. And the thing is, we translate everything we possibly can. Because Access and Consciousness is not for English speakers, it's for the world, okay? And that is our point of view. Also, we change the price of our classes in different places around the world. We make them less in different areas around the world to honor the fact that it takes you as much effort to earn a certain amount as it does somebody else, to honor you and the culture and the contribution you are to us in the world. So, this is one where my train of thought left the station. I'm like, there is no station?
You had a translation story.
All I hear is,
You had a translation story.
oh, my translation story. Thank you. So, this is so good. So, I have a friend I work with. Her name is Megan. She has pale skin and blonde hair. She was in Costa Rica. We actually have a resort in Costa Rica that is beautiful. It's got this space to it. Anyway, she's there for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something. And she speaks a little bit of Spanish to where, and she says to one of our translators, she goes, this translator, by the way, that one. Yeah, now you know who. there's a reason she's wearing black. Okay, so she says to her, she goes, people are asking me, how are you? I can say bien, I know that, but is there anything else? Is there something with a little more flavor, a little more chutzpah to it? So Alba says to my very blonde, very white friend, yeah, say, when somebody says, how are you? Just say, bien caliente. So she's at the Costa Rica airport, ordering a hamburger, armed with her new way of answering this question. So the guy behind the counter, hey, how are you? And Megan, being so proud, is like, bien caliente. Every single person in the burger joint was just laughing their asses off. This is a good time to let you know, do not let the truth get in the way of a good story, okay? And do everything you can to laugh more, because when you're laughing more, you're being way more you, okay? There was another thing I wanted to say, but I think I've said the things I want to say. I would very much like to thank our hosts, our tech team, our dragon people in the back, our oracles. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Woo! Also, thank you so much for choosing to be here and participate in our 5th International Being You Day. And I thank you. And I really, I'm so excited for what I perceive as possible for all of us, okay? And really, this is us. Now, earlier today, so I apologize, I'm not going to be hanging around after. I know Sarah said it, but basically, all day today, I was sick as a dog, okay? I was standing back there before I started going, I hope I don't throw up, I hope I don't throw up, I hope I don't throw up. So that's why my body has indicated to me, leave, asshole, okay? And please know that is not personal. I want you to know I adore you, I am grateful for you, and this is something I need to do to honor my body at this point. But also, how amazing is that any of us can go from I'm about to throw up to let's go. What if you can too? See, anything I do and be is something you can do and be also. And I don't say that lightly, and I hope it makes more sense now. Had I started with that, you'd have been like, right? But after being in the presence of, things can change and things can get lighter, and I can laugh and I can be happy, and oh my goodness, right? Anything I can do, almost anything I can do, you can do also. Just like almost anything you can do will inspire other people to know that they can. What if you recognize that you choosing lightness, choosing more consciousness, which is less judgment, more possibilities, more awareness that you can change anything, are actually the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires. Oh, one more thing, holy. Okay. One of the things I do is this energetic stuff. I call it ESB. We just had a 3-day class of it, as a matter of fact, which is probably, oh yeah, baby. Let's give a hand for that. Woo! Oh my God, it was so good. Okay, I want to take a moment for all of us around the world. Holy crap, that's awesome. Now, I never know what anybody else is getting, but I know when I get something, okay? I'm like, wow! Okay, so, See, I saved the weird shit till last. You're welcome. Wow. Oh, baby. Well, give me a minute. I have no idea how long this is going to go for. Do you sense something? Remember I said, like, if you sense something, I sense something. Okay, cool. I'm so glad. Okay. Because I'm not standing up here with my arms like this for you not to sense something. Okay. Wouldn't it have been awesome if I started like this? Hi! I'm just going to stand here like this. Have a nice day. Okay, bye-bye. Wow. Exactly. Oh my God, so good. Wow. So let's ask for, so what if? Would you be willing, well, no. What if our interconnection is way bigger than that? I don't have words for it, but what if you're no longer alone? What if all of our space contributes to all of us? And what if we have that for our planet and our world and its future? And what if today we ask for consciousness to awaken throughout the entire planet, and that those that desire to destroy and be destructive no longer have the ability to do it, no longer seem like they're more powerful, no longer seem like they're greater, and let's ask to dry up the resources of those who are destructive to possibilities. Simultaneously, let's ask to turn up all of the infinite resources for those of us that desire possibilities. Okay, whatever that looks like, whatever that takes, I'm willing to do my part and look weird as fuck standing in front of you doing this. You're like, you're not weird, Dr. Dain. I know, that's because you're as weird as I am. Nanny, nanny, nanny. Gotcha. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100. Shorts, boys, povas, bases, creations, and beyonds. So let me ask you a question. Is now the time? Oh, hell yeah. Do you want to be very significant for a moment together? Let me see if it reads. Okay, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. We are the locks. We in our bodies are the keys. We are the locks. We and our bodies and the earth are the keys. We are the locks. We and our bodies and the earth are the keys. Now is the time to destroy and uncreate all locks and keys and set the earth, consciousness, us, and our bodies totally free. Yeah! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Mwah! Woo-hoo!